And welcome to another episode of the Asian Not Asian podcast, a podcast with all of your favorite Asian friends. It's me, I'm Mike Nguyen.
And it's me, Jenny Arimoto. Said it like Mario.
Why open it? Why they do that? Why open it up with the Mario?
I don't know. You sounded like you had a little bit of a Italian twinge, so I just jumped on it.
You know, I kind of do. I kind of have I don't know. I have a nautical look today. We'll get into that when we do our fit check.
Yeah.
It could be Italian. Why not? You know, people don't know. Maybe I'm on a Vespa. No, it's Asian Not Asian. Thanks for joining us. It's a beautiful day here in August. Climate change has really been friendly to New York City, I feel.
Really? No, I don't think so at all.
You don't think so?
I feel like
it's not that hot.
Our ass.
It's been okay. I mean, we don't have the heat dome.
What's a heat dome?
The heat dome. The rest of the America, is been.
They call it a heat dome.
It's a heat dome. Yeah.
Oh,
heat dome. Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Look at us.
I don't read the news.
We're such East Coast elites.
I feel
we're just what?
Its weather's been really bad this summer, I think.
You think so? No, it's
so rainy, and then if it's not raining, it's been smoky because of wildfires.
Well, that was in Canada.
It's not wild, I know, but it was impacting us. And if it wasn't, and if it's not the fires, it's the bugs that love the fires. It was like bugs, fire, rain. There's very few days where I've been like, wow, it's nice to be outside. And then it was a heat wave last week.
What? It's been so nice. I feel maybe the one thing I don't like is those lantern bugs. Ugh.
Yeah. Have you been killing them?
Things? Oh, I've been stomping on them.
I just panic sometimes. I'm not sure if it's a lantern fly or not. So I'm like a little bit delayed in my reaction.
That's
like
when
they could get away.
They use that opportunity, that delay to pick your pocket. You don't know.
I know.
One of them is flying around. The other one is in your purse.
I know. It's attenzione, pickpocket. Well, I'm doing TikTok sounds now as jokes.
Very Italian. Attenzione, pickpocket. Lantern fly. So it's a beautiful day. Depending on who you ask, which host you ask, it's a beautiful day in New York City. And we've got some quick announcements up top. We've got Hack City, of course. It's a beautiful Hack City time. I don't know why I said that. It's the next one is in September. Let me double check real quick when it is. It's the second Friday of every month. So the next one will be September 8th. It will be a great time. It's at Union Hall. It's at 7 p.m. We have a special guest. We have an amazing lineup. Of course, we have a special guest. I can't tell you who it is, but come on.
Really special. Just really
come
special
through.
Stuff.
It'll be fun. It's going to be a great time, and it'll be a vibe. And again, that's September 8th at Union Hall. That's at 7 p.m. And it's a stand-up comedy show. And come check us out. A funny thing is that I think a lot of people don't think we are good at comedy. This happens to us sometimes. Like people will just be like, "Oh, I like the podcast," but then I don't know if I'll actually laugh at their jokes. I promise you, it's fun and we're funny. We just are.
People have said that to you?
I think it's more that people are skeptical that Asian people can do stand-up comedy. I swear to fucking God. I swear it's a thing. I swear.
In 2023?
Yes. I swear to God. It's like, well, I don't know, but hey, this is what I did. Okay. I went and pursued this instead of getting a master's degree. So I promise you I'm solid at it. All right. We're just going to get into it with our guests. We've got some great guests today. And it's going to be a very creative, I don't know. Space,
Yeah, we're going to create a space for discussion about creativity, community, vibes, fashion, feeling old.
I was trying not to use the word vibes because I think I might be becoming too old to use it. And then second, it's just too good of a word. And I've been trying to challenge myself not to use the word vibes.
I know it's such a general, easy to use word. I use it for everything.
But you know
what? I've started using the word era, which I think is even worse.
Era?
Era. Like I'm in my bed rotting era. That was me. Like my one day I didn't leave my house. I was like, I guess I'm in my bed rotting era. And then I hated myself. I was like, oh, I can't believe I said that.
Like I'm in my Italian Monte Carlo outfit era. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty good. Okay.
I don't think it's good. Don't say it. That's even worse than vibes.
Well, we're going to create an amazing era on this podcast. I used it wrong already, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Our guests are the founders of Bobblehaus, a sustainable, genderless retail and creative multiverse built by and for their communities and our communities. I think we have a lot of overlap. It's going to be great to have them. Please welcome Ophelia Chen and Abi Lierheimer.
Woo!
Hello. Hi.
Thanks for coming on the show. Did we use the word eras right? Do you guys use that word?
I'm actually dyeing my hair back to black after being a redhead for, I think, 3 years. So I keep telling my friends I'm exiting my villain era and then turning my whole summer.
Yes. I 100% understand that.
Red hair was your villain era? That's your villain era?
Yeah, the past 3 years.
Did you do anything particularly villainous?
I self-proclaimed.
My favorite thing is villain era. You know, you're like everyone's in their villain era. Yeah, I said that last summer too. I was like, I'm in my villain era.
Exactly. It's not being evil. It's just the vibe of unhinged and devil may care kind of.
Exactly.
We used the word vibe just now. Okay, just twice. That's fair. And Abi, do you use that word era? What era are you in right now?
I actually don't use that word very often, but I think you used it right the first time. But I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you. Very incredible graduate student energy that you're bringing to the podcast, Abi.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just trying to be honest, you know.
I love that. I love it. You guys are cool, creative, zillennial, I guess I would call it, right? Maybe like little Gen Z, a little millennial. And we're going to get into all the stuff that you do. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi YouTube, you can kind of check, you can follow along, but we're going to do a real quick, we're on Zoom today and we're going to do a Zoom fit check. So I don't know, I'll start very quickly. I've got on my St. James shirts. I was telling Jenny earlier that a huge mistake that menswear guys make is we see a picture of Paul Newman and think we can be Paul Newman. And it never, ever works. I saw a picture of Paul Newman and he had on like a nautical striped shirt, you know, like this. And I bought one and I put it on and I realized, oh, I don't have Paul Newman's face or anything. So I'm still Mike Nguyen, but now I have this stripy shirt on and I have a polo hat, which is legit awesome, and have my Patagonia shorts on because, I like to project that I would go slacklining, even though I never would. And that's me today. Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, when we logged on, I was like, oh, you look like my mom in the 90s is what I said.
That's what it was. Yeah. I was like either Paul Newman or Japanese mom in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's the same. I don't know. Jenny, you want to go next?
I can go next because my outfit is seriously lacking because we're on Zoom today. I'm wearing my aunt's old Dansko workout muscle tee.
Yes.
I'm wearing long denim shorts I got from our partnership with Saks Off Fifth.
Amazing.
And I'm wearing my glasses I got with my partnership from iBuy Direct. And it's only because I wasn't planning on wearing glasses, but Mike sent me some notes and I couldn't read them. And I was like, oh my God, my eyesight is so bad. So that's kind of the look I'm going. It's kind of free. Everything is free. Actually paid $0 for this outfit.
Sponsored partnership influencer is definitely an aesthetic, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's the era I'm in. I won't pay for anything.
Yeah. I'm recording from my Helix Sleep Mattress while working on my I don't know. What is it? What is
my
that thing
Squarespace site?
Squarespace website.
And making my MailChimp email list. Yeah.
Oh my God, MailChimp. I would wear the shit out of a bunch of MailChimp t-shirts. How about Ophelia? What's your fit? Let's check.
Yeah, I'm wearing a black tank that I thrifted somewhere in Brooklyn, and I'm wearing my Everlane denim jeans baggy. I cut the bottom because they were too long.
Yeah,
I understand that.
Going for a very simple vibe today.
You have what did you say? You say wholesome. You're in your wholesome era. Is that what it is?
I'm trying to be baby step.
You got the headband. Too. The headband.
Oh yeah, headband.
It's the headband.
Yeah, this headband is from CVS, Target, CVS.
Love that.
Way Reed, one of those. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, you look like someone. If I had to drop off my son at Kumon and I saw you, I'd be like, I'm in the right place.
Oh, really? Not the 9 piercing on my ears and the tattoo on my sleeve.
Well, I would assume you would probably be wearing a cardigan or something like that. And so, it's like, this person's going to teach my son algebra. Okay, great. Abi, how about you?
I actually was wondering when you guys mentioned Fit Check how we were going to do this on Zoom. I was like, are we all going to stand up? But you only get to see the top half.
Yeah.
I know.
But yeah, I've been living in Florence, Italy for the past month, and I'm here for the rest of the summer. So it's been very hot. So I'm wearing right now a sheer silk button up that I thrifted, as well as a tank top and 100% linen pants because it's very, very hot here. Yeah.
Oh my God, so chic.
It's so cool.
It's just so hot in Florence, so I just have to wear my linens.
Oh God!
Can't go out in the middle of the day.
I can barely make it onto my well-appointed yachts every single Sunday.
I wish.
Well, y'all are founded Bobblehaus, and again, I read this kind of write-up that our producer did, and it's the sustainable generalist retail creative multiverse thing, right? And it's very kind of expansive. And I wanted to hear from y'all how you would describe yourselves. And we do this thing on the podcast where we give you a minute. And since there's two of you, you'll have to split the minute. But you have a minute to just say who y'all are, what is your thing, what's going on? I want to know. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
And you have to fill up the minute.
You have to use the whole minute.
You can't go shorter than a minute.
Yeah. You can't go shorter than a minute.
Can you stop us when it's like 30 seconds?
No. Okay, you ready? Okay. Begin.
You got this.
All right, I'll start. I'm from Shanghai, and then my parents and I immigrated to Joplin, Missouri, grew up there, came to New York a few years ago. My name is Ophelia Chen. I'm a baby queer Chinese American, came out last year. And my thing is building an inclusive and positive community.
Nice.
Keep going. I won't tell you how much time we have. Go.
Okay, I'm Abi Lierheimer from Evergreen, Colorado. I was actually adopted from Hangzhou when I was 9 months old. Grew up in Colorado, went to school in the South, and then have been living in New York for about 5 years. And I am the creative design side of Bobblehaus. I design all the clothing, all of the content, all of the visuals that you see. Ophelia and I are very complementary. She went to business school, and I went to art school. So we have both sides there. Yeah.
Hey, wow. That's perfect. You got 1 minute exactly. That was exactly 1 minute.
Wow.
That's amazing.
We've done this pitch so many times.
Well, you crushed it. And I mean, I think I did a terrible job explaining what Bobblehaus is. And I would love to hear again, also, you don't have to use a minute. We can just scrap that, but just tell us, what Bobblehaus is. This is, I know it's a space, right? You guys got like a space that's in the Lower East Side.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just tell us.
180 Orchard Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll start. I think that what Bobblehaus is today. So we're going into our 4th year, and every year is very, very, very different. And I'm sure every entrepreneur will tell you that, of all the ups and downs. But I think what's beautiful about Bobblehaus is that it means something different to both Ophelia and I. But we both have really come into ourselves and found ourselves through this business, and the dedication and love we have towards it is so strong, and the trust that we have in building the business together. So what it means to me is community and family and design and discovering myself. And it didn't always mean that, but in the past year, it has grown into all of those things beyond just like a fashion brand.
Jeez.
Absolutely. I completely agree with Abby. I think this journey that Abby and I have been on, for me, it's a true blessing, and I wouldn't have traded for the world. I think I, wouldn't have come out if it wasn't for Bobblehaus, if it wasn't for the community that we had. And who would have thought, honestly, when we started Bobblehaus, it started as a blog back in 2019, just for a place for global young Gen Z Asians to share some of the heavier stories, not, what's up and coming, what's the trend, but rather like, what does being an Asian man mean? What does sexuality mean? What does generational trauma that's being passed down through mothers and fathers or, families mean? And from that, we became, a community brand. And Abby designed our first collection back in 2020 and launched with a pop-up during the pandemic, which was a journey in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I quit my job. I quit Quip, I think it was January of 2020. Of course, the pandemic was coming. Yeah, it was right before the pandemic.
You were at Kith for a little while. Kith is like a cool, I don't even know, streetwear, whole thing, right? It's like a force of nature at this point, but you were there for a while and then you left. And I know, Ophelia, you were also at some place and you left as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was at Bloomingdale's.
Sorry, there's a mosquito in here. Okay. I'm trying to kill it. But yeah, so we both were working corporate fashion. We both graduated college 2017. We're living in New York, working kind of corporate fashion jobs, and then met through a mutual friend who was my roommate at the time. Ophelia approached me and was like, I want to start a company. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I want to start it. And it actually started as like a skincare brand and all of these different things. Wow. And she was like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to start with a blog. And I had just gotten the job at Kith and I was like, no, I got to stay here for a while, but I'll consult for you and look at what you're doing. And so we did that for about a year. And then I finally was able to see that I wanted to leave. And then I reapproached Ophelia and she's like, okay, let's actually do this. And that's how it happened.
Yeah. Good time.
Wow. That's wild. I appreciate, there's a couple things. Appreciate that you guys are creative. Second, appreciate that you guys didn't go to Harvard. That's like a really big thing for me. Our listeners
this has been every week, every turn on Harvard.
Yeah, every single person's like, oh, I left my job and I was working at the Supreme Court for a while, and then all the Yale lawyers were always asking me questions. I don't know, but it sounds like
I wanted to just write comedy.
Exactly. It's always like that. Yeah. So it's cool that. What's interesting to me is that you wanted to start something, but you seem to be comfortable with the idea of being I don't know, almost undefined as far as what the output was, it's a blog, it's of course there's a collection. So there's discrete things you're making, but you were okay with, well, you know what, it might become something else. It might become something else,
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the driving force behind wanting to do your own thing? What were you envisioning in general when you were making that decision? Because I've rarely had that drive myself.
Do you mean in leaving the corporate job or in being okay with where Bobblehaus goes?
No, I mean at the very beginning when you thought it was going to maybe even be skincare. I guess I've just never even thought let's go and do a thing. I'm always no, let's be safe and stay where it's very clearly structured is my brain.
Yeah. Remember the generational trauma I was talking about? My parents are self-made entrepreneurs, so they put a lot of pressure on me growing up. I was taught that to create positive economical value is to create jobs and to create, new opportunities and change the system or change the structure. So I was also really jaded, I think, at my corporate job. I feel like I was only using 30% of my brain capacity and somehow doing well. And I feel like life is, I think our generation, you grew up, is like, you're going to change the world. Like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. The world is your oyster. So when I was 21 and I got the job and I worked my ass off for 2 years, I felt like Great Gatsby before he was Great Gatsby. I felt like the world is missing a huge chunk. I had no motivation. And I think the desire is to change the industry that I personally felt unsatisfied and jaded in.
Yeah. And there's some similarities for me, but really as a creative and as a designer, I was just unhappy. Of course, that was my third corporate job. And before I was at Champion and coached before then, and, fashion companies are all pretty much the same. So there was a glass ceiling there, and I was unhappy. I wasn't designing what I wanted to design. I wasn't in an environment that was particularly healthy. I would say maybe it's changed since then, I hope, in like the streetwear world in general. And as a creator, you need that out there. My parents are also entrepreneurs, but it's different. I didn't have like pressure. I never wanted to start a brand. A lot of people in fashion school, that's like their dream and that's what they want and everything. And this was an opportunity that really came about very unexpectedly. So I saw an opportunity and I was like, this probably will never come again for someone to ask me to be their co-founder, for it to be in this industry. And we really want the same thing, which is, we wanted to change the industry.
Holy crap.
That's awesome.
Those days of motivation are well behind me now. So it's cool as shit that you're doing that. I think it's awesome. We're like a fake fashion podcast. We do the check up top, but I'm always wearing the same thing. Okay, it's always dad shorts. All right, so I do want to be able to like talk a little bit about fashion and creativity. And just like, I don't know, streetwear. And I could talk about, I have like a lot of thoughts about these sorts of things.
Yeah, Mike's kind of the fashion guy here. And then I'm kind of just like here for the ride,
I have a small, tiny group of cadre of other people that I am constantly talking to as far as like, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this drop or whatever? And those people are always like telling me to stop texting them. And like
they're like, who are you? Yeah.
Who is this?
Who
I blocked you already.
How did you get my number?
How did you get my number? I'm like, Randall Park, come on, So, he's really into fashion. So but I want to get into that. First, I want to very quickly just kind of like have a little check-in with everybody, just as far as what kind of Asian you were this week. Because that's always a fun thing we want to do, Jenny, do you want to start off?
Yeah, I can go first.
Yeah, Jenny, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was a strike Asian.
Hey.
I went to my first picketing. I'm not part of SAG or WGA, kind of yet.
Just a stand. There we go. Just a striking stand.
But a lot of my friends are in the unions, and I had been meaning to go for a while, and so I went to my first one. I wasn't sure what the vibe is, and it's very well organized. But the interesting thing about going to the picket events for the actors and the writers unions is the famous people who are there is fascinating. I mean, like, first of all, the energy is awesome. It's a nice way to get your steps in. And I saw like Michael, I saw friend of the pod, Michael Cruz came there and he brought his kids. It was just like awesome.
That's cute.
And so we like waved at each other every time we like
each other. I heard the food is solid. Was there good food?
I didn't eat food, but they have snacks. Like they're so well prepared. Like they have like sunscreen, water, snacks.
Okay.
Truly people like of every age. They were truly children there with their backpacks and like stuffed animals, but also your older folks. But yeah, it's really interesting to see like the famous people who show up because and no one bothers them. It's just like everyone's part of this union and they're all just showing up to support. And I really love that vibe. Like I showed up and Beanie Feldstein was already there and we just like no one said anything. It was just like another person.
Yeah.
But anyways, the one thing I wanted to call out, which was my favorite thing, was that F. Murray Abraham was there. And he is, I don't know if anyone watched White Lotus season 2, but he is the grandpa of like that family.
Yeah.
And so he shows up, he's alone, go off.
Right.
I just looked up his
Hollywood
age, he's
legend,
83.
for sure.
Yeah, legend. He's 83. And you know, they give out, when you sign in, they give you shirts. So everyone has like matching like SAG or WGA shirts. And so he came in his black SAG shirt, but it had been like cropped, like altered. Like, you know, when you go to summer camp and you get like a shirt and then you're just like, I'm going to make this my own. F. Murray Abraham came, we absolutely altered his shirt into like a muscle tank.
Nice.
Muscle tanks and a deep V.
Yes.
Cut. And I just was like, every time I walk by, it was like, nothing makes me happier than to know that F. Murray Abraham took his shirt, went home, cut it, and was like, this is the look.
This is it.
Came back the next day with like his hat, his summer hat, came back to strike, 83 years old by himself, and was an absolute icon. And I was just like, this is such like summer camp cool guy energy. Like he's like the guy who went home and was like, yeah, this is my look. I don't know. I was obsessed with it. And he seemed really awesome. And he picketed the whole time.
That's amazing. That's why I'm glad I wasn't there, because I would have seen that and I would have had the same thing where I think that I'm Paul Newman. I would have thought that of him and I would have tried to pull that look off. But there's something about, you know, once you're a man above age 75, you essentially no longer have a gender in my mind. You just become an older person, and then you just like, you know, and you just pull off whatever the fuck you want. It's fucking awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing it, and I was like, kind of ageless. I didn't think he was 83 until I looked him up this morning. No, because he was wearing a deep V. That's so cool.
And that's the era. Okay, ageless, genderless. Okay, yeah. You're like a fungi at that point. You know, you just.
You're just like sustaining the forest or whatever.
You're just pulling nutrients out of the atmosphere. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Really, did you see him eat at all? You know, you just think about it.
No, I didn't.
No snacks.
No snacks. He talked to a lot of people. People would come and approach him like in the way where they're like trying to be cool. And I was like, get away from him. You know who he is.
No. He's got strong fungi energy. That's right. I love it.
Anyways, that was my week. How was your week, Mike? Or what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was a driving Asian. I've got a car. I've been I've been borrowing my friend's car. He's like away. And so I've been using it, and I've been going all over the goddamn place. Yesterday I went to Wegmans. That was my Friday. That was my Friday thing. And I'm going to tell you this. Yo, okay. Y'all young people, oh, I'm doing Molly, I'm doing cocaine. Oh, look at me, I'm out until 5 a.m. No.
Yeah, that's
Wegmans, 5:30 p.m. That's where you gotta be. Okay. They got pre-marinated meats. Okay. They got bulk items. And also, I mean, if you want to drop some money, okay, forget the club. Go to Wegmans. I spent so much fucking money there.
It's not so cheap.
It's really not. But it was dope, and it was cold in there, and that's me. I've been a driving Asian.
Which Wegmans?
There's only one.
Brooklyn Navy Yard, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I go there too.
You do? You know what I'm talking about then.
Mm-hmm. So I ride my motorcycle, so I can't carry that much. I can't carry that much back, but I get a little bit of stuff and go back.
But I mean, see, why don't I just tell you?
Cooler than him.
Can you imagine? You're just chilling. Oh, I need to go pick up some hot dogs or whatever, and then Abby rolls up with her motorcycle and her blonde hair and like does the slow motion like get off as she takes the camera off, you know, and like you're like, dude, this is the party. This is the party. What is the thing you get at Wegmans? Is there like a thing you're like, I got to get this at Wegmans every time?
I actually go there to eat lunch sometimes because they have like a hot bar and
hot bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I'm like going somewhere, if I need to go to downtown Brooklyn or wherever, on the way, I'll stop there and have lunch. Last time I had chicken noodle soup.
Yo, this is some hot girl shit right here.
Literal hot girl summer energy.
That's a hot girl shit right here.
Eat hot soup in the hot weather.
Yeah. That's cool as shit, man. I'm sorry. Put that on your Tinder profile.
I need to.
Well, let's keep going. Abby, what kind of Asian were you this week?
Okay, I guess I'll go for the obvious. I was a blonde Asian this week because this is very new. I've actually I've never gone blonde, and one of our Asian friends was like, "Wow, you've never gone blonde. Every Asian's gone blonde. Yeah, you'll never go back." Basically, and it's just like the top part. There's still some dark stuff underneath.
That's cool.
But it's fun. And I've also had really long hair for years now. So it's like short hair as well, summertime. But yeah, it's also been, I'll add one too, because I'm traveling alone right now. Like I'm remote right now. I'm also have been like a sad Asian lately and introspective. So I want to give like both sides, it's not like just an Italian summer dream the whole time. It's a lot of self-reflection and just being here alone and immersing yourself and doing the work. And so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Wow. Just leave a teaser like that and just walk away.
Yeah, leave us hanging.
Well, are you serious? You just leave us with the A24 premise and then nothing else?
I gotta stay mysterious somehow,
Yeah. Is this well? Okay. Just a quick follow up. So, would you say that is this like a certain era for you then, like a villain era? I don't know what the other ones are. Like is this like a thing where you're like, okay, I gotta, because like the hair change, is that it sounds like it's
I don't want to be all like I don't want to be too much of a downer on this.
You need to be as much of a downer as you can be.
Okay.
You can
Please.
be.
Okay. I'm in my depression era then because I know a lot of people overuse depression, anxiety. I've never been depressed before, but I think this year brought some of that on. My mom got very terminally ill this past 10 months, and I've been traveling back and forth between Colorado and New York for a long time. And just my entire life has changed, basically. So, I don't know how much detail to go into, but then I came here for the summer. Yeah. And I was with my friend for a while, and then she moved to London. But basically, it's coming on from just a place of needing something different and your life completely changing. And then, you need to see yourself in a different place too, to get through it, I think.
Totally. I feel that. Yeah. I went through my blonde era as well, in 2021.
Nice.
And that was coming out of a lot of like therapy, self-discovery stuff too.
Yeah. I think it's connected for sure.
It's 100% connected. I was like, I need to do something for myself that's different and present different. So I feel you on that. And I'm very sorry to hear about your mother. I lost my dad this year very suddenly. Not to like be like, I get it, like whatever. But I do think that because I went through my blonde era, not to connect it all back to hair, because I went through my blonde era, I went through a pink era, then a blonde era. And this was my first year back to natural hair, like full natural hair. It's very interesting. I was like, I do see they're connected. I went through this exploration era and I like changed a lot, both internally, which reflected externally. Exactly. And so then like when my dad's stuff happened, it was very sudden, but also I was like, but I felt very sure of myself because I went through that journey prior. And so it is this like weird thing. It like is connected and to a lot of stuff, like the way you present. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not like in a materialistic way. It's because, you need to look different to feel different. Yeah. And visuals are important. That's our whole industry. Like it's not a materialistic thing, but it's like what it looks like does matter, Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it makes you feel different. like a different person. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I'm understanding now that when Asian girls go blonde, it's like Super Saiyan, but depression, It's like, it's like, I'm feeling
It's
myself.
not wrong.
Boom. Boom.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
Yo.
And there's like some tears shed for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's like transformational.
Yeah.
Oh,
there was a TikTok
God.
that said that, like, everyone talks about the moment an Asian girl goes blonde, but you don't talk about the moment the Asian girl goes back to natural, because that's actually a huge plot point as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because both of mine were huge plot points in my life. And the fact that I'm back here is it's like, I'm a different version of myself. The world needs to be scared. I'm back, baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, I want to come back, because what you said was really interesting about when you feel like how you look, there's an interplay there with that and how you feel on the inside. And I 100% feel that. So, but I want to come back to that, but I want to also talk to Ophelia very quickly. You kind of talked about this as well with your hair, but I just want to say, I want to ask you, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I want to use the word that Jenny used, because I was actually debating what's like a good descriptive phrase, but I think I'm exploring Asian this week. I'm unlearning a lot of things about, I think, kind of like the sexuality within the Asian community, and also just sexuality in general. I had a really good conversation with my friends who recently is trying out polyamorous as well as open relationship. And he also came out as gay a few years back. So, and he has been extremely confident in his own sexuality, but actually, like, in front of his culture, obviously, like, those are still like, he's still him, but just not showing everything, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
And it kind of related to what happened with me this week, where so I have feeling for someone currently, and
all right, hey,
we're trying to, or like, I am personally here's the thing, is like, I think how I was taught growing up is like, all relationship needs to be intentional, or like everything in the dating life has to be intentional. Everything that I do is intentional.
Yeah, that's
right?
very true.
Like,
yes.
like who we are, where are we? Am I wasting my time?
Yeah.
Am I going to get hurt? And everything, right?
Yeah. It's
but
always defining this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And people always say like, oh, you have to define it, otherwise it's going to get messy. You're going to get hurt. But I don't know if you guys have seen Heartstopper. Season 2 just came out yesterday, so I was binging it. And one thing that they said in the movie is like, in the show, it's just like, you can just feel. And that was actually one of the biggest lessons that Abi taught me a few years back. It's like, you can just feel, like, it's okay. And I think it's a really, really cool thing where we're trying to put all of our feelings and our thinking into words, but that's not the case. Like, you can't describe all of your feelings and you can't describe all of your thinkings because it's all language. And I think that's something that I'm learning this week. And I'm really happy where I am really solid. I am at peace. I have a good foundation, and I really, really love who I am and where my life is right now. And I don't need to define anything to change anything. I don't need to put all these, how I'm feeling, into words. It's just how I feel. So I'm exploring that right now, which is, very
Asian.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
That's amazing, I think.
That's
to
very
have
wholesome.
that mentality. Very wholesome.
Very
That's
wholesome.
the thing you learn is like, I feel like you learn in therapy, at least for me, was like, it's okay to feel bad or like feel anything. You don't have to like fix it. You just have to just feel it. I was like, it's kind of an interesting thought, because I thought I had to fix everything.
No,
exactly.
And I'm realizing too, like, that the whole thing, what you were saying, is a kind of like an old mentality, like it's like a very millennial / Gen X mentality of like define the relationship. Everybody always has like, oh, we got to sit down and have this thing, or what are we, this label, that's, and I think I think for it's like I never even realized that that's what we were doing all the time. And to not have that is like for me, I could see that being very unsettling if you're like not open to that kind of approach to relationships. But I think it's very powerful.
Yeah. And that's the one thing that my friend taught me, because he's always been curious about polyamorous, and he knew he wanted to be an open relationship, but he never really explored the definition or what it means to him. And I think, these days they say gender is fluid, but I think, and this is something that he told me, and I'm still thinking about it, is that what if we take that fluidity into other aspects of our lives, right? What if, but then I think the fact that people define it is because there's a security to it, right? And that's absolutely true. Like, you're committed to me, I'm committed to you. We vocally have an agreement, and this is like, we are in a relationship. But at the same time, things like, just because you say that, things are going to change. So it's almost like it's very honest, vulnerable, but also like a little depressing way to look at it. Is like, let's just not define what we are, and then we'll just go. We'll just feel. And then one thing, going back to the hair, and I think so I went blonde twice in college.
Oh, Super Saiyan twice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then after blonde, I became a redhead back in 2020. Yeah, like right before the pandemic. And I've been redhead ever since. And I always think that was part of my identity. Is like, I would never be a black hair Asian ever again. Like, that's boring, that's basic, that's not me. I want to be cool, I want to be edgy, But then I think it's like I had long hair, and I chopped my hair short completely going through like a breakup. But I think you're especially right. So I'm dyeing my hair back to black today, and it's the first time I think in like 4 or 5 years. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to not be defined by I don't know. I accept that, like, if people see me, they see quote unquote this face, like, I don't care anymore.
You're an Asian dad. That's the Asian dad move, dude. I don't give a fuck. No, that's not true. But yes, I see that. I feel that.
Yes, I feel that. It's the next plot point. Well, for me, it was that I didn't want to pay for my blonde anymore because it was expensive.
That too.
Kind of a forced plot point for me. Yeah, the upkeep was so expensive. But it also is like a different thing when you go back. You're going to experience like, now I look like this.
It's the journey, the character arc.
It's the journey. It's a character arc.
You're going back to, return back at the beginning of the circle, but you've changed,
Exactly.
You're blonde on the inside now.
Yeah.
I know, right?
But I did have a moment when I dyed my hair back where I was like, no one who's met me now knows that I was blonde 2 months ago. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, does everyone know? Like, I want to like walk around with like a photo, just be like, by the way, I used to look like this. Yeah.
Like an ID. Yeah. Like a badge. You don't even understand. I'm glad you brought that up again, because I do want to. I'm glad we're coming back around, because Abi, you really touched on this thing, and I think it works. It is also, I think, related to the work that y'all doing with Bobblehaus, and this idea that what is on the inside is kind of on the outside, and what there's an interplay there. Because I feel you. I sometimes, like, we talk on the podcast all the time about how when people first meet me, they, when I first started comedy, I was very into like streetwear, and I was kind of like into this Rick Owens thing for a while. And then I was into like Yoji Yamamoto, and then I was into, stop laughing. And then I was into
That's when I met him.
Oh, there's so many people that popped up in my mind. Like, it's a phase too. It's like the blonde Asian phase.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's your Rick Owens phase. Yeah.
I had my Rick Owens phase, which was a terrible phase. And then I went, it's super expensive. And I went into, and then I was like kind of into streetwear, and I think streetwear kind of like, this sounds really cheesy, streetwear saved me in the sense that it made me realize that I okay, a lot of people make fun of, I'm into clothes or whatever, but they don't realize that like it's a reflection of my values. It's gonna sound crazy, but it is, because like for me, I want to have clothes that looks cool. It's important to me to look cool, and I've accepted. I don't give a fuck. I want to look cool. Okay, for myself, I want to look cool. I want to look in the mirror and go, I'm dope. And second, it does have to like be rugged in the sense that like I can do shit in it, whether it's taking care of my son or whatever. So like there's values embedded into what I look like, and I don't know if you can relate to that. It sounds like, it's an expression, like how you look like on the outside is an expression of who you are. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about, because it sounds like we're all kind of talking about transitions and like how that works. And I don't know if you've ever thought about that as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think being in fashion and just being in the creative space, there are a lot of connotations with the fashion industry, especially in New York. Yeah. But a lot of people love fashion for so many different reasons. It's just we talk about the same reasons all the time, which is for like hype and for looking cool.
Yes.
All of the things that make press. And that's part of, what Bobblehaus is something different than that. Is that like we're allowed to like fashion and like clothes without being like that. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that's not us. So we don't necessarily fit into that archetype. And I've never fit into that archetype, even when I was in fashion school. Like I knew that I just wasn't that type of runway fashion person that cared about those type of things. But I'm still allowed to like clothes, right? And I'm still allowed to be a fashion designer without people thinking in their head, like, oh, your life is like Project Runway or something, like they think that is what our life is, or like your life is just so glamorous and like models and photo shoots all the time. And, sometimes, yes, we have to do those things, of course, and they're fun, but it's not everything to me and it's not everything to us. And that's why Ophelia and I work so well together, because we can exist in this space while being different. And that's probably the biggest piece of feedback we've gotten from all different types of people is they're like, I don't quite know what it is, but you guys are like doing something different. Like there's something, you're in fashion, but like it feels different. You're not trying too hard. You're not trying to be too cool. We just are trying to be ourselves and like discover what that is. And then it can also look good though, and be sustainable and all those things. It doesn't have to look granola-y or like, it can still look how we want it to look and be very cool, but have that sentiment behind it. So I think that's super important.
Ophelia, I don't know if you had anything to add as well.
When you said like how streetwear saved you, I completely agree with you. Actually.
Oh yeah?
Because
okay.
When I was growing up or like in college, in college, I was actually in the sorority. Oh, what? I know.
What? Really? Oh my God. You have so many layers.
And
the headband. It's the headband.
Yeah.
What color hair were you in the sorority?
I was black haired and I was blonde. So it was blonde, black hair, blonde again.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Okay.
I know. It went through a whole transition.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but I think when I was in college or growing up, I always wanted to dress like female, like sexy, crop top, tight, and everything. But then when I came across streetwear, I was like, oh, I don't need to be like that to be a girl, or I don't have to wear skin tight,
like overly feminine.
Exactly. Like
but something. Oh, sorry.
No worries. I can look sick if I just wear like a t-shirt that I love, or like a really cool cargo pants or baggy jeans with I don't know. It just felt funny
because that's something we talked about early on, is that like at my previous jobs, especially in streetwear heavy places. So I was on the women's wear design team, and the feedback was always make it shorter, make it tighter, make it more sexy. Because even in streetwear, it was interesting because Ophelia, you're saying that streetwear like helped you discover that less feminine side, but it's funny because streetwear also puts women in a category, a very specific looking category. And so we're like, oh, so you can have that like in a different way. But that's how a lot of traditional streetwear brands still view women and still sexualize women and still only make those certain types of clothing. And they're like, well, if they want something baggy, they can buy the smaller size in men's, but it's going to be 1.5, 2 times the price, or it's going to be, all of these other things. Right. So like there has to be another way where this type of person exists or this type of style exists. And so we really bonded on that sentiment at the beginning, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
My God.
That's
Being
awesome.
a woman sometimes is a prison. This is what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I think, to turn this into a streetwear podcast, I think what's cool, it's like streetwear and hip hop.
It's like, literally Mike's dream.
There's a lot of issues, but what I think draws people into certain subcultures like this is that there is, at the base level, like an ideal that you can do what you want. You're supposed to, you can be powerful without having to be, whatever, like a certain sort of archetype of like what is beautiful. And in the best possible scenario, streetwear is like very open-ended. And I have this large essay that I've written in my mind about how streetwear has saved fashion. It essentially has saved fashion, because before streetwear got really big, what the fuck was, there were no ideas that's coming. Louis Vuitton and whatever, Celine, I don't know, the big brands, they don't have ideas. They didn't have ideas because, the way that people are going, it's like, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to be labeled a certain way. And streetwear is like, it's like remix. G&D Leon, I don't know if you know him. He is, this style dude. And he talks about streetwear as being like remix culture. You can always add more things to it, which I think is like really cool. It can be co-opted, of course. But we can get into the whole discussion about hype, which I think is, hype is hype, but ideally you dress for yourself. You can wear whatever the fuck you want. And, if I feel sometimes you see someone in the right clothes and you're like, that person, even if they were by themselves in their house, they would still be wearing the same clothes. And I think that's like, badass as shit. And I feel like Bobblehaus, you guys are kind of like leaning into that. It's not about whatever these rules or I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like those things aren't bad, and streetwear is, of course, is not like those archetypes aren't a negative thing. I just want people to have options. And so we wanted to create an option because we love streetwear too and think it's helped. I agree exactly with what you said about how it's helped the industry. It just felt like there weren't a lot of options for someone who wanted something a little bit different, but you still want to participate, of course.
Totally.
So, yeah.
That's great. Wow. We're coming up on the time, but y'all, I'm also starting a new career as a creative consultant. Okay. Or am I joking? I don't know. But
I immediately just started giggling.
But I do think that a lot of I do get this question from listeners and from other people, like, hey, what's a cool thing I could get into? Sometimes it's just like some sneakers. Sometimes it's just like what's some music or whatever. I want to know. I don't want to make this into like a tastemaker thing, but I do think that you both have a really cool way of thinking about, trends and things you like. I want to know what are you on right now? Is there something you're on that you're like, people need to know a little bit more about this? It could be, I don't give a shit what it is. It could be something that you're saved on in your eBay thing, or it could be some song you really like, or it could just be, a great dish that people don't talk about enough. I don't know if there's anything that comes up top of mind.
A newsletter, a zine.
A zine
would be like the cool.
Is there something like that? Like what is your little like thing that I think it could be really cool? I can start if you need a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if people this isn't new, so don't be getting up on the YouTube comments, but I've been really into gardening clogs. Okay. Gardening.
They're in.
Yeah.
Clogs. Okay, that's what's up. I have a lot of Crocs already, but I would like some that are closed, like the Crocs that I have. I don't want to hold it up to the camera. I think it'll gross you out. But like it has, it's Crocs, right? So it's got a lot of holes in them, and that's fine, when you're in the water or something. But sometimes I want it to be closed off. I want it to be just like I'm out in the dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm about that right now. Gardening as a thing, I'm kind of into that right now.
Wow.
Mm.
I can go. I mean, I can go. But mine
You say
isn't-
wholesome?
Wait, do you have a pair of non-croc clogs?
I don't have a pair of non-croc clogs. My wife has vetoed my purchase of any shoes for the moment. We're currently
you have a lot of shoes.
We're currently in a hiring freeze for shoes.
Yeah, you're in a hiring freeze. Well, I've seen the shoe. I've seen how many shoes you
The
have.
collection.
I have.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you need to have some layoffs. I can go next because mine's not cool, so I don't want to go last.
Okay, Jenny, go.
I'm really into, and this is not new either, I'm really into 90 Day Fiance the other way.
Nobody's on this.
Yeah, I'm on to when the Americans go over there. I've always been into it, but then I took a break, and now I'm back with a vengeance, baby. And I have been binge watching that stuff hardcore. And it just reminds you that life can be whatever you make it. Like truly, I was like, these people like abandon their families to go get married to a person they met online who's 40 years younger than them. And they've talked to them twice. Go off. Is it smart? I don't know. That's up to debate, but they're like so romantic that they just like go and do stuff. And I was like, wow, life is really whatever the hell you want to make it be.
All right.
That's my lesson from that. And also it's just silly and fun.
Mm-hmm. You heard it here first.
Hey, fiance. It's the best.
It's so
entertaining.
good. So
I mean, they even go and, they don't speak the same language and they just use, Google Translate.
Yes.
And then they get married and they're still using like Google Translate on the phone the whole time. Yeah.
Like they're like, someone was talking about like something very specific, right? Like a court case. And they had to use a translator. And I was like, oh my God, this is the rest of your life if you get married.
Yeah.
Doing this. Wild.
Huh. Okay. Everybody get up on Google Translate. That's the thing. We're boosting Google Translate.
It's really in.
I'm in my Google Translate era. All right. Abby or Ophelia, either one of you can. You got someone?
Yeah.
What's your thing?
I was trying to think. Okay, I can go next.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm in another era. I'm in my chess era. So
chess. Shit!
Wow, I didn't see it coming.
Damn.
So I actually never knew how to play chess, and I always felt super intimidated. But then when I came here, my friend taught me, and then so we bought this like little mini chess board that we brought everywhere. We would go to bars, we'd go to the beach, whatever, and we would just play chess. Now
how cool are you?
I'm like addicted now because I have to concentrate. I'm not on my phone. It's the best. And you can be in a public place, like even at a bar or whatever, and still play chess. And it's also a great way to meet people. If you sit down with a real chessboard by yourself at a bar, someone's going to come up to you.
Hot girl shit right there.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah. Eat your chicken noodle soup. Set up your You're at
Wegmans. Okay. Picture this.
Oh, yes.
Friday. Yeah. Okay. You guys are on TikTok and at the club. I'm at Wegmans playing chess. We're different.
And eating soup.
Eating soup. Hot girl era. Oh my God. That's gonna be hard to beat. Because Abby just brought up chess. Okay,
I know. I can't.
I know.
That's pretty good. If you got anything on, you can go whatever you want.
Well, this has been an obsession for a while. I love Legos.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I still have one huge one, 1.5 in my apartment that I need to finish. But the thing that I love is marbles.
Oh,
wow.
Shit. Y'all okay, people can't see on the podcast. Ophelia just pulled out a Lego Venom head.
Venom, yes.
That's
like
so
my favorite
cool.
thing is like a movie themed Lego, and I'll just watch the movie while doing Lego, like Harry Potter, Marvel.
Wow.
Whoa.
And it's like you're building like what's in the movie. I don't know. I think it's really cool.
That's so
Harry Potter
cool.
ones are my favorite.
Exactly.
So many.
Yeah, like I'll build cars watching Fast and Furious. I'll build Venom when I watch Venom. I'll build Diagon Alley when I watched Harry Potter. Yeah.
Okay. I did
built-
not
I
have.
want the
Motorcycle.
Fast and Furious one to like end up with like a real life size Vin Diesel Lego, like
It's like a giant Vin Diesel.
like
And it
mannequin
says-
thing. Yeah.
And he's always like for family, you know?
Yeah. We're family.
We're family. I did not
Family
have
first.
founder of the sustainable genderless creative multiverse space talking about Lego. Okay. I did not know that was going to happen today. That's fire.
Multiverse. There's a reason that we use. the
Oh,
word
good point.
multiverse.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, do you freestyle the Legos or do you follow directions?
Is there
How
like
do
a
Legos
direction?
No,
work?
I'm a very Asian. Like
Okay.
I follow it. I follow it to the exact. And if it's it never ever miss a piece. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't buy like Pirate Lego. I don't buy any other brand besides Lego. If it's miss a piece, I'm trading it. I'm returning it. They'll give me back my credit. They're so nice. Yeah.
Amazing. That's so cool.
Ophelia, I love it. Okay. Well, this has been a crazy ass podcast.
Really
If
covered all
someone-
the topics.
If someone were to say,
Yeah.
what did you talk about today? I would be like, y'all don't even know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Well, I want to thank you, Ophelia Chen and Abi Lierheimer for coming on the show. And again, the space they are at is called Bobblehaus. And one more time, what's the address?
180 Orchard Street.
180 Orchard. And if you want to check out their stuff, where can our fans find y'all and your work?
We're on Instagram. We have our website, bobblehaus.com. You can also check out our own podcast on Spotify as well.
Hey, podcast. All right. That's amazing. You can always find our podcast at Asia Not Asian Pod. And you can check out, again, our Hack City show. That's September 8th. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And you can find me, Mike Nguyen, at Nice Pants Bro. Drop me a follow. I need attention. There you go.
And I'm at Jenny Arimoto, and I also need attention. I'm a Leo.
And thank you again to Ophelia and Abi for coming on the show. I, hope everyone is, continues on their exploration and is free and fluid, except when building Legos. Okay, that's when you got to follow the rules.
That's when you follow
the one
rules.
time
Structure.
That's the one time you got to follow the rules. Otherwise, until next time, y'all, we love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.